Hi. A common misconception grievers and their friends can have is that it'll just take time and then they'll be better. We've always heard that time heals all wounds, but this is really not the case. I have had tremendous healing since the death of my husband, but it wasn't because of time, though time does help. It was some very specific action steps that I took towards healing. If time were all we needed to heal from grief, I wouldn't be working with clients who lost someone 5, 10, sometimes 20 years ago or longer. Time can help, but it's what we do with that time that's going to make the biggest difference. We would never think this way with a physical injury. So why do we apply this thinking to emotional wounds? The Grief Recovery Handbook says, just as broken bones would need to be properly set to heal and ultimately function again, so must the emotional heart. And that's what breaks in grief. Your heart. Just like a physical injury, the pain of loss is very raw to begin with. The wound is all you can think about, and it's all-consuming, and any movement reminds you that it's there. Grief is often described as the process of healing from that wound. But if the conditions are right and the wound is not too deep, it may heal naturally in time. But I'm imagining that if you're here in this program, your wound is really deep because you lost someone who you loved dearly, who was an important part of your life. And this can sometimes be too painful to acknowledge or tend to that wound. And so in time, it doesn't always heal in the way we'd hoped. And a wound left unattended then can become infected, and the pain of grief worsens. An infected wound needs to be cared for in order for it to heal. My friend, I want you to tend to your grief and help it heal. It doesn't make the injury go away. It can leave a scar. But as your life goes on, it becomes part of you and it no longer hurts in the same way. Healthy grieving is active grieving. The reason that we can think that time works is that as we adapt to the new and usually painful reality of our loss, we begin to be able to function a little better. Have you noticed that? Maybe you're functioning a little better than right after it happened. So with that comes the illusion that time is healing you, right? Because you're doing a little better over time. But what's really happening is you're adapting to the loss. But you could still have so much unfinished business and unresolved emotions and grief over the loss that haven't been addressed and that need to be addressed for real healing. This misconception that time heals all wounds promotes inaction and waiting for something to happen outside of you, when the key is you need to take healing action when you're ready. If you've just lost someone, you're just trying to survive 1 minute at a time. So I am not suggesting that you take some major healing steps right now. I wouldn't recommend them for you because you aren't ready yet. And that's okay. But I do want you to know, no matter where you are in the grieving timeline, that there are things that can be done in the future that can really help you. And if it's been quite some time since you lost your loved one and you're still in excruciating pain and waiting for time to make it better, you may be really disappointed and discouraged. Maybe you feel stuck. Please don't believe that it will just take time. The truth is that it's the healing action taken within time that's going to really make a difference. Time is part of the healing process, like a recipe ingredient, but it's not enough by itself. So what are your stepping stones for today? Do you agree or disagree with what I've said about time? Why? And if you think it might be time for you to take some healthy action, check out our resources page or some of our other series or episodes, because we have all sorts of ideas and ways to support you. And maybe you have an idea on your own, but think about it. My quotes for you. Time only passes. It does nothing. It's what we do within time that affects the quality of our lives. It's from the Grief Recovery Method. Action is critical because grief won't heal itself. Healthy grieving is an active process. Don't just wait for time to do it, please. And you don't have to do this alone. We have lots of resources and support for you in this program. Take a look. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.